Hello everyone, welcome back. So in this video, we are going to use a method we just introduced to practice some examples. But first, let's just quickly check. In previous video, we mentioned we have two methods. We actually have three, but today's lesson, we introduce the first two methods. The first one is called AA similarity because we need two pairs of angles are congruent. And the second method called SSS similarity because we need three pairs of corresponding sides are proportional. So please make sure there's a big difference between SSS and SSS incongruence. Okay, so that's why we put a similarity. Just make sure you tell the difference. So let's check some examples here. So the first one we see all three. We have two triangles here, and we have three. All six sides are labeled with their measurements. So let's see. Since we have all the sides and we don't know any information for the angles, so I would prefer to try to see if we can use SSS to see if they are similar. So let's write down the matching sides to see how do we prove it. As the first one you see is 8, 12, 16, and then 6, 9, 12. So the better way is the way you see the corresponding size is pay attention to like measurement. So 8 is the smallest one, so it should match to this one. So let's check. The first ratio is 8 over 6. And then so 16 is the largest one, so should match into the largest one. Last pair is going to be the middle size, which is 12, the matching to 9. So how do we compare the ratio here? I'm going to show you two ways. So one way is to simplify each fraction to see if they're congruent. So let's see, they are both even numbers, so I'm going to divide by 2, 4 over 3. They have 4 as a factors, 4 over 3. This is very good sign. So they're both divided by 3, so it's going to be 4 over 3. So this way, as you can see, they are actually equal to the same ratio. So we can definitely prove they are congruent. So another way to prove it is, I'm going to write the ratio like this. So this is 16 over 12. In order to prove they're congruent, I'm going to use a cross multiplication. So 8 times 12, 96. 16 times 6, 96, check. So they have same ratio. Then I'm going to use 8 over 6 to check the last one, which is 12 over 9. So again, cross multiplication, 8 times 9, 72. 12 times 6, 72. Okay, check. So use cross multiplication, you can prove these two ratios are congruent. And we use the same one to prove these are congruent, so all three are same. So that means we have AC, let's write down the size, AC over matching the size to DE equal to BC over EF, and the middle one, AB over DF. So that way we show all three pair of corresponding sides are proportional. Sorry for that. So that means we can come to the conclusion, triangle ABC, again, make sure you match to their, how to say this? So make sure the angles are matching to each other. So you have to make sure, how do we match it? So as you can see, AC is actually matching to DE here, so it should be DEF. So matching is very important. Sometimes you have to like rotate the triangle or like even turn your neck to one side to matching. How do they match to each other? Do not forget to show the method, which is SSS similarity. Again, it's different from the SSS incongruence, so please make sure you can tell the difference. Okay, let's check this example. Okay, it's very straightforward. We have two triangles here, and this time we have only angles. So we know one pair of angles, 45 to 45, so angle B is congruent to angle Q. See, the angles are congruent, so we use this these two angles here. This just congruent symbol. And also another one is angle A is congruent to angle P. So some student might say, why this method is not AAA? So I will let you think a little bit. So you can definitely pause the video to think why this, we just use a two pair, but we actually have three angles in a triangle. Some students probably already come to the conclusion. Remember, the triangle has three angles, but all three angles add up to 180. So if I already know two pair angle, they're congruent. In order to find the next one, I'm going to subtract. I can add them and subtract from 180, then I'll get third one. If two pairs are already congruent, the third one must be congruent. So that's why we don't need a third one, because that's enough. So now, since we have two pair of angles, now I can come to the conclusion. So triangle, again, do not forget to match to this angle. Remember, it's a similar, because angles can only confirm they are similar. So angle A is matching to P, so it's P, and angle B is matching to Q, is Q, and the last one is going to be R by AA, similarity. Okay, so that's it. Okay, we're going to do one more practice and that's it. Okay, so this question again, we are looking at the two triangles here. We have only two angles for each triangle we have. So some students might come to the conclusion, oh, they must be AA. But again, in order to prove it, you have to make sure there are accurate evidence to support your claim. So if you want to say we are using AA, then let's check, do we have two pairs of corresponding angles? Okay, so we know, we see the angle Q and angle T, they're both merit 100 degree. So that's definitely true. Angle Q is congruent to angle T. However, the next one is 45 and 35. So they're not same. Can we say they're not congruent? They're not similar? So let's check. As we mentioned, all three angles are adding to 180. So let's check the last one. So 145 plus them together is 145. Then subtract 1 from 180, it's going to be 35. So this angle is 35 degree. So now you see 35 is congruent to 35. Then of course now we have another pair. Angle R is congruent to angle U. So these two evidence can support our final conclusion now. So now we can see triangle QPR is similar. Again, this is a similar symbol. Let's check to make sure we match the angles here. So Q is matching to T. P is matching to, we know R is matching to U because we just proved they have same measurement. So I'm going to put U then last because R is matching to U. Then P is matching to S. So by a similarity. So again, we cannot just say directly to say I have two pair of congruent angles here. We actually need to prove there are actually evidence to support our final claim. So please make sure using information to indicate we actually have another pair. Even we don't have that information directly given, but now we can prove they are congruent. So that's why we can say they're similar. Okay, so that's a practice we want to address today for the two methods we just introduced. I hope these two videos are helpful to help you to understand how we prove triangle similar. But definitely review these videos to see if you have more questions. And thank you so much for watching these videos and study this topic with me. Thank you so much and take care, everyone.